Okay, we're wrapping up the mini lecture with the final video looking at the last part of Nelson chapter 20 on firing and retiring of presidents. So looking at the removal of Donald Trump and impeachment, this little section just outlines some of the key factors that were outlined in the text, but it also makes connections with the smoking gun tape, which is one of the reasons why I gave you the link to the transcript. So just a few of the facts that were relayed in the chapter. Because this impeachment proceeding is ongoing, we can't speak to any outcomes. However, some of the things that we need to consider and some of the things that the House is considering is the fact that Trump fired the FBI director, James Comey, for continuing to investigate the criminal links between Russia and the Trump election campaign. James Comey was investigating, Donald Trump asked him not to, and James Comey continued to investigate. Another important factor is that Robert S. Mueller was appointed as special counsel, basically to formally investigate these same questions around Russia's connection with the Trump campaign. So you had the FBI director, James Comey, investigating. You had Robert Mueller, special counsel, investigating. And you also, another important factor is the fact that Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner, this is kind of a subset of the Mueller investigation because this is something that was found, that Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner actually met with a Russian lawyer who promised some documents that would incriminate Hillary. Again, this idea of Russia and the Trump campaign coordinating in order to benefit Donald Trump's campaign and get him into the presidency. So, some of the key findings of the Mueller report, I will indent that as well. So these are some key findings that are listed here, just so you can become familiar. Reading the bold headers will help you to be oriented to kind of what this report found with regards to these possible connections. Extensive criminal activity. Russia did engage in attacks of the election system. Numerous links between the Russian government and the Trump campaign. So specifics, this website is useful because of the either 400 or 500 page report. It pulls out the findings to articulate exactly what was found. What did they find, and why is it important? And then finally, just looking forward, as I said, the impeachment hasn't concluded, but if we think back to Nixon's statements that are detailed in the smoking gun tape and compare them with some of Trump's statements. So President Nixon, and you can see here at the end of the transcript. So this is a transcript that Nixon made recording his meeting with his chief of staff. And towards the end of the tape, President Nixon says, "They should call the FBI in and say that we wish for the country, don't go any further into this case. Don't investigate the break-in and all of the implications of that." So you can compare that with Trump's statement, which is, been in the news and also mentioned in your textbook, that when he talked to FBI Director Comey and he said, I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, basically asking James Comey if he could stop the FBI from doing their investigation. So there are more details, but thinking about our precedents and our history of impeachment and removal and some of the factors that led to it and some of the factors that prevented it, it will be interesting moving forward to just keep an eye out with this understanding of kind of what we have impeached presidents for in the past. So that concludes our lectures, and if you recall, last week then we moved into our discussion questions. Tomorrow we will be talking about Nelson chapter 15, the President and Congress, and our discussion leads will be Alexis and Daniel. Also, don't forget that your next legislative visit is coming up on November 16th, and we'll be talking more about the final research paper and final presentation. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.